What's up, CT? I'm here with young king Zunel GC for episode 106. Zunel is a 14-year-old artist and producer out of CT. How's it going, bro?
I'm chilling, bro. Honestly, good vibes. Loving it,
Hey, I'm
man.
so glad you got to come on, man. So, my first question I want to ask you is to ask about what was life like before you started becoming serious with music?
Music was definitely always like a thing that was a part of my life since like a really young age. My mom was like a dancer. My dad, like I recently just found out he was like into music. He was an artist,
Yeah,
Spanish. So I was always naturally like musically inclined, and I was like 5, 6 years old. On YouTube, like posting videos of me like rapping, stuff like that. And gradually over time, I just got into it. At one point, I moved to Connecticut because I'm originally
yeah.
from Florida, and that's when music really became like serious for me, 100%.
Dope. And what town did you move to or city?
New Haven.
Word, bro. New Haven got a lot of talent out there, man. I'm glad to see. Dope. So, all right. So your name is, and I'm sorry if I butchered this, Zunel Gerando Centrone, and you put the Gerando Centrone into GC. So, what made you decide to shorten it for your stage name?
Yeah. Um, I don't know. My name is unique in itself, and GC. I don't know. It just happened. Honestly, I'm like Zunel GC. Put my initials to it. Why not? Sounds
Smooth,
pretty good.
and it's unique. And every time the biggest thing that I noticed is that every time I typed in your name onto either YouTube, Spotify, it just always popped up first, and
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
unique. And that's
Mhm.
something that a lot of artists don't realize. Like I've interviewed some people who I've literally had to scroll down on YouTube to find their video, or have to click on the link to find their video because it wouldn't be right at top. But bro, you mastered that. That's great.
Yeah, thank
Um, so I saw that some of your biggest inspirations were Juice World, Nav, Tame Impala, and then Drake especially. So what about these artists really inspired you so much?
you. Nah. First of all, was like one of my biggest like motivations as an artist too. Like I have this thing where I listen to music and I imagine like, yo, if I could make one type of music that wasn't what I make, it'd be like Nav, for example.
Hmm.
And then Tame Impala just sonically is that's it's crazy. To me, it's something out of this world.
Hmm.
It inspires me to low key just get out of that wave and tap into something new with different genres. Um, Juice World just because of timing too. Like as I'm coming up, like people I'm really listening to, Juice World, and then Drake. He's God. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
that's a given.
Yeah, honestly, every artist has to give it to him, hands down. Period.
So speaking about Drake, what's your favorite album?
Um, forget the name of it. The album that Marvin's Room was on. I forget the name all the time.
Oh, geez, now you're dating me. Let's see,
Uh,
Marvin's Room.
I was
That
probably like
is,
6, 7 years old. I can't
Take
remember.
Care.
Take Care. That's
Yeah.
my favorite Drake album. Hands down. It's like he's just a beast. It's no need to explain that. That's given.
It's a given at this point, right? Like
Honestly.
over like a decade or two, it's just literally nuts. So I completely agree, and I'm glad to see that the people who you look up to are people who are really successful in their own lanes. And obviously Drake is in every lane, but
Yeah.
no, that's sweet.
Took
So
over.
yeah, man. So your father is your manager. How did you two get into this venture together?
Um that was that was just happened. Like, it's my dad. First person to like really push me and believe in music, like, cause he knew that I could do stuff. Like, he's like, yo, let's do it. And it was just a given, honestly. As you said, a given. It happened. I was before I moved with my dad to Connecticut, I really was more of like a lyrical rapper. Like I was trying to like rap on 90s beats and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
as I said before, my dad was an artist at one point, made music. He was difference was he was more melodic. He like very these like tones, and he showed me that. He tapped me in with that. Like I was strictly like very lyrical, which is hard to believe because what I make now is so like sonically different, super
Yeah.
melodic, super sing-songy. But yeah,
That's sick because he knew what you could do if you went into the lane where you are now, and just look at the success that's happening right now.
yeah, definitely.
That's sick. And then was it in February 2020 you linked with Alex Fat at War Records, right?
Yeah,
So how did
facts.
that come to fruition?
Um, it's these things of the universe that just happen. Like I said before, my mom was a dancer, and years ago, my I never knew this until my dad told me, but like years ago, she was in one of Alex's videos because Alex has been around for like decade, probably more. I don't know. And my mom was in the video, so they kind of knew each other, and then my
Hmm.
dad also knew him, and they just my dad really manager of the year. He just tapped in, and it's been a ride ever since then.
That's sick, man. And it shows that Alex really cares because he's like putting his time in doing your videos, like actually making sure that it's a polished product when you actually go and you release. And that was one thing when I saw your stuff originally when you were sending it to me and you were just sending the videos over. I was like, okay, word. And then I found out, bro, you're 14, and I was like, yo, this kid's putting in work compared to every other 14-year-old out there.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
That's bro, it's very inspiring because I always go back and I tell people like, man, if I just could go back to teenage years and start what I really wanted to do, oh, I'd have a blast. And you're able to do that now, and it's just honestly, man, a beautiful sight to see.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of people say that too. They would definitely.
Good, they should, bro. All right, so if you had to describe your sound to the audience, what would you tell them?
That's a good question. Super melodic, super like sing-songy. A good comparison, I'd say Juice World type of melody too. And I'm not really a high singer like on a musical scale, like I'm pretty low. Like it's like bass
Hmm.
and baritone, and that's what I am, tenor, alto, soprano. So like I can't really sing that high, but I try my best to, like do falsettos and like high pitch stuff like that. I just a vibe. That's what I say. My music a vibe.
Word. And the fact that you just brought up falsettos, that's really key because, I used to be a part of an a cappella group. I was big into singing. So I was like in between a baritone and tenor too. So I was like always in the middle, but like we still sometimes had to hit those high notes. And it's like, if you can
Yeah,
just learn to hit it in your falsetto, it's going to sound good because, when you're recording, you can add the effects to it. You can do whatever. It doesn't sound like you're only using your falsetto, but you can reach those notes. So that's really smart, man. I love to hear that. All right, so let's get into the early process. In 2019, you released Watchmen, and that was produced by Black Mayo. And you released the music video, you had a behind the scenes and the making of it. So talk about this first video shoot.
yeah. Watchmen. That was the first song I ever recorded like in a studio that was like well put together. It was like hook, verse, all this stuff that I never had done before. We was really just having fun. Um, we knew a dude who did videos, hit him up. We did it. It's funny. We filmed most of that video in the back of my dad. My dad's a barber. Besides being my
Yeah.
manager, he's a barber, and we filmed it in the back of his barber shop where he cuts hair, like the
Oh, that's
parking
sick.
lot, and then like the corner store by where I live. It was just real. It's like a real fun experience, just doing stuff for the first time, just having
Oh,
fun
of
on it.
course.
Yeah.
Word, bro. And then you go and you release two songs after that in 2019. You had Batman and Robin and Neptune. So talk about recording those.
Um, I was definitely still trying to find myself. I
Hmm.
still currently am musically, but I kind of have an idea where I'm going. But at that point, I was really like, if you listen to those first early tracks, it's a lot of more rapping, like
Hmm.
definitely a lot more rapping. Um, Batman and Robin was like this hardcore type style that I never did before, which is interesting for me because I always find it hard to do stuff like that. Still do. And Neptune was like real rappy, auto tuney, just real catchy. Like I don't know. It was definitely trying to figure out what lane I wanted to go on at that point when I recorded
I
it.
love that. Yeah, and you're finding your sound, like you said, that's so key because so many people don't realize that, it's a journey. You have to take it, and your first song isn't going to be the sound that you want to use, but it's going to be the stepping stone, each stepping stone to that sound you eventually want to use.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Hmm.
That's sick, man. So then in February of 2020, you released your first mixtape. That was the Late Night Text mixtape. It's strictly on YouTube. So out of those songs, what would you say was your favorite track on there?
Um, my favorite track. Um, it's probably either it's in between Downfall or 2020.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
Yeah,
word, bro. And you have two
2020 kind
features
of
on there.
sucks now, but 2020 kind of sucks now, but it was my
I
favorite song.
mean, you didn't know it was coming. I mean,
Yeah.
you released February. Nobody could have guessed 1 month later that the world would have shut down.
Mhm. Facts. No idea.
But you have Tay Dot and then Dante Tweaks on the project too. So how did you get in contact with those guys?
Dante Tweaks was he's an artist, but he's also an engineer. He owns a recording studio, and I recorded that those first three songs there, that whole mixtape. He was definitely just like somebody who was helping out, and he fucked with the vibe. He fucked with the wave. Like he enjoyed the music, and yeah, it was a real cool dude. I really got into engineering because of him. Like I seen him and stuff like that. But yeah.
Word, bro. And what about Tay Dot?
Um, we just met online type shit, and then we end up linking for the feature. Yeah, pretty much it.
Word. That's it. Okay. So then you also, on top of the Late Night Text mixtape, you also released the Misery music video. So talk about that day when you recorded it.
Oh yeah. Kind of to this day, we have a joke about it. Like it's my worst music video. It's like bad. It. I personally didn't really like the song, but I said, you know what? I was like, yo, do it. Trust me, trust me. Um, the song in my head was already meh, and then the video was just like terrible. I look like miserable. I look miserable. I look I was going through misery. Like it's horrible, but yeah, we put that out. We were trying to get content out. That was like my second video, I think. Yeah.
You just said the key word there that I was going to bring up, bro. As a fan, seeing more videos, seeing more content is all we want. So even if you personally think, oh yeah, that's my worst video, there's going to be a kid out there that watches that and it might be his favorite video. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I feel you. Hmm. Definitely.
Or man. So okay, then on April 3rd, you released Late Night Text, which I think personally is it's in between this and another song as my favorite one of your tracks. So it's almost at 25K on Spotify. So talk about creating this track, and this was this the first video that was directed by Alex Fat?
Yeah, it was. Definitely. It was also the first song. Oh no, I got confused. No. Yeah, it was the first video he recorded for us. Um, yeah, that was like the first video that had like a real how do I say
Creative direction with it.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, creative direction. It had like a real plot. Like it had a message to it too, and it's kind of what late night text is kind of what where I kind of started to find. Like we seen how good it was how good it was being received, and it was a pretty good song. Like I was if you tell like in the verses and the hook, I switch up. Like I go for a deeper tone to like higher, like trying to sing really high and stuff like that. And it's something that definitely something I'm trying to stick to now, like my style.
Yeah, yep. You know, you hit it right on the head. Like that is what when I heard late night text, I was like, okay, this is the sound that you're looking for. This is exactly where I can see you going in the future and expanding on this sound that you found.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
And then I think it was this video that in your room you have your vest that you're wearing for the 93 EP. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
Okay, word. Word. So leading in, you then release in the 5th of June, you released the 93 EP. So one thing I wanted to ask, what is the meaning behind 93?
93 is really it was the first project I ever recorded myself. That
Hmm.
was like all done in home studio. Um, and it was one of the first project that ever had meaning. Like, it had a concept behind it, a certain sound I was looking for sonically, and then it was an actual EP because I mistakenly called EPs before, which whatever. But 93 is basically based on the angelic number 93. Um,
Okay.
Topics on it, like if you listen to it, it's like speaking about losing my grandmother, stuff like that, and consider my angel and just angelic stuff. Honestly, people who passed, stuff like that. Pretty much, that was the concept.
That is amazing, man. You know, angel numbers are so key. Uh, I preach about this a lot. So the fact that you just brought that up makes me so happy, and it's so great to see. So, what would you say is your personal favorite track off the EP?
Oof, personal favorite. Let's see. Got the intro. Permanently scarred. Doubting me. Um, don't run. I think that's it. Hey, I think there's one more. No. Don't run was definitely my favorite at the beginning, but over time, permanently scarred
Hmm.
became my favorite one. Yeah.
Word. And that was the other track that I wanted to say earlier. So I'm really debating on Late Night Text or Permanently Scarred as my personal favorite. That shit, bro, it hit. And you know, the fact that you made it a 12-minute EP, I was able to just listen to it all the way through, listening to it again, and then start getting deeper into what you were actually saying. And I thought it was so cool. So with the intro, it's Lil Zip. And can you explain the monologue at the beginning? And at the end, you say, "Born for what I do." Is this you earlier? And was Little Zip a
Yeah.
nickname?
Yeah. I told you, I said at the beginning, I when I was younger, like 5, 6 years old, like I was posting like videos of myself rapping on YouTube, and they're still up. Like, please
Mhm.
don't go looking them up, but they're up. Um, we found that one, and we like, yo, we should make this the intro. We sent to boy Philo, producer, produced and mixed that whole EP. And like, yo, add these like, try and make it real emotional, stuff like that, and came through. And that's really how it happened. That it just happened. It just perfectly came together. It was
It aligned. I love that, bro. That's sick. So, okay, so the first actual track on the project is the self-titled track 93. And so now we know why you called it 93. So what was the reasoning behind making this the first song on the project?
it was by itself, well, self-titled, but also it was like I felt the most meaningful to me. Like, cause as a young artist, we have this thing where, like, especially for like 16, 15, 14, you have certain life experiences, but I don't have the same life experiences as you do, or a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old. Like, so things like that stick out to me from my experiences, and then I capture that raw emotion and put into a song, and that's what 93 was. That was like my most emotional song, and the subtitled. So yeah.
Hmm. You're well spoken, man. I that's very much appreciated. This is just great to see. Okay, so now we get into your original first favorite, which was "Don't Run," where you're telling a girl don't run from love. So how did you think of this concept?
Uh, just up late, recording in my room by myself. Yeah, it just come through. Um, yeah, it's one of those songs that it's just don't run. Why you running from love, girl? Like, why you playing with me? Type shit. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there.
love that. Okay, and then we got "Doubted Me," and this was also directed by Alex Fat and edited by Shot It by Johnny. And you released this video on June 12th. So talk about that video shoot and what was special about it.
Um, that was also another one where we had like a serious plot. Like, it wasn't necessarily story driven, but it was like it had a real good setting, like the car, everything. We had
Yeah.
like a fake nightclub inside, like for the ending of the video type shit for like the second verse. Yeah, it was pretty dope shoot. It was I was definitely also experiencing experimenting with my like image. Like I still wasn't sure what to wear, but it came together. That to me is definitely dope.
Bro, that's sick. Yeah, no, the one thing that I noticed on Doubted Me was just your confidence in your character because every artist is a character and just, some people don't look comfortable in their own skin and you just walked on there and you sold it. If you're selling a product and your song is the product or the video is the product, you did it, bro. And that was the key takeaway that I got from Doubted Me.
I appreciate that a lot.
Of
Definitely.
course,
I was
bro.
feeling like that at the moment too. Like there
Yup.
was a big pause from like the mixtape, late night text, and then to drop 93. I always feel doubted, but I felt doubted there a lot for some reason. I don't know why.
Hey, it's that runs in all of our minds. Even when we're up and doing good, there's always that voice in the back of our heads trying to knock
Yeah.
us down, but it never does. And actually, remind me, I have a book that audiobook I'll send over to you after this that talks about shit like that you might like.
A word, yeah, definitely.
All right, bet. And then the last track, my personal favorite on the project, Permanently Scarred. So what was the reason behind making this the outro?
Um, honestly, that was one of the first songs, one of the 15, 14 first songs I ever wrote, and I I have a thing where I hate re-recording music. I recorded that song once, and I lost the project file, and I had to. And my dad was like, "Yo, this song, it, bro, record this." I'm like, ah. Ended up recording it again. I didn't really like the song for a long time. Even when it came out, I was like very But
Mhm.
a lot of people, even you, it was one of your favorite songs. Like a lot of people, like, yo, this is it. Like this is your best songs. Um, yeah, it speaks like about emotional trauma, stuff like that. Um, yeah, permanently scarred. That's how I
Ties
felt.
into the whole kind of vibe of the entire project. It kind of wraps it up end to end. And then in October, you actually released the remix with Novocaine, right?
Yeah. Um, uh, Novocaine was like one of the first like bigger artists like than me who like showed love. Like I really got in tune with her because she was live streaming on Instagram and added an artist and stuff like that. And I hopped on and I showed her permanently scarred like raw like the first time and she's like, yo, this is fire. Fire. We stayed in contact after that for a while and we always thought about it and ended up coming through one day, recorded the remix. That was it after that.
The rest is history. That's sick, man. All right, so now that we're off the project, you then go and you release a Spanish track that is La Noche, and that was featuring Eggy and Mafia. Mafia is also on War Records, right? Or
No,
was? Oh,
no, no.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely had to tap into the Spanish side. That was also something my dad pushed for too. We pushed for that. I'm not sure. That was just an experience. My first time recording a Spanish song.
Hmm.
I'm half Puerto Rican, half Cuban, so it had to come at some point.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, I remember we recorded that song in my stuffy ass room. It was hot. It was like four of us in there. Um, Eggy Mafia, my dad, me. Um, yeah, it was definitely an experience. Shout out to those guys. Yeah.
And do you think you felt more comfortable doing a Spanish track, or do you feel more comfortable doing strictly English tracks?
At the beginning, like when I first recorded La Noche, I didn't feel really comfortable. But over time, I've I've stayed in contact with those guys, and then I have a lot of Spanish artists that are around, and I've recorded a lot of Spanish music.
Hmm.
Not songs fully done, but a lot of Spanish music, and yeah, I feel like I'm definitely comfortable in it now. It's harder, cause my first language is English, but I I tapped into Spanish too, so I move around.
Shows you're versatile, man.
Yeah.
Word. And then you also released, so the last track of 2020 was Voices. And let's see, this is also released by directed by Alex Fat. So talk about this video shoot and how you guys really planned it out and everything.
Voices was oof, that was an experience. That's you know how late night text I say I was kind of finding my sound. Voices was like when I said, okay, this is my sound.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely like, okay, this is my sound. And as an artist too, like the look, that's always plays a big part into it. I'm like braids, everything like, okay, this is what I'm a struck for now on. Like this is my vibe. This is what I'm going on. Yeah, on the video side, that plan that out, we actually recorded that in the like scenes in the basement of my house.
Oh,
And
word.
um yeah, and we recorded I think there's only two different scenes. The basement and then at a park by my grandfather's
Yeah,
house.
with the swing set. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was dope. It was cold as hell that day. Um yeah,
Oh, I bet, bro.
we always manage.
Hey, you got it done, and that's the main thing, right?
Facts.
All right, bet. So we've been talking about your artistic side a lot, but let's bring up the fact that you're a producer as well. When did you start getting into production, and just talk about your process as you've evolved throughout the year?
Yeah, production when after let me see after I recorded late night text, that whole mixtape. um at one point we kind of settled down, and we decided my dad decided, yo, let's buy a studio, bro, let's do it ourselves, let's invest into it. We did that, and the moment I got my computer, no speakers, no microphone, nothing. The moment I got my computer, I downloaded FL Studio and just started producing. I just wanted to get it. That was the first thing I could do at the time, and I just wanted to get into it. I'm like, yo, I have this in my hands. Now I could, shit, everything's possible.
Seriously, man.
And also shout out to Loda Beats, like a real mentor where it comes to producing. Like I just sit by his side, watch him produce. He's definitely like an inspiration on that. Definitely taught me, bro, a lot of stuff about melodies and scales and stuff like that. Definitely
Which
look
is
up to him.
so key, man. Like, you were talking about with engineering before and now with production. I think it's very imperative to just be able to sit on the side and watch somebody that just knows how to do it, click things, click the buttons, go to the shortcuts, do all the things that they instinctually do, and then go and take that and try to do that yourself, and then kind of find your own little nuances that are different from them, but then it like expands off.
Yeah, I feel like if I never got my own personal studio, like my personal setup, I would have never found my sound. I would have never been able to experiment the way I wanted to experiment. It's because it's different when you're in the studio with an engineer, people. Um, it's a different mind space. It's a different vibe when you're by yourself, recording yourself, doing whatever you want, experimenting. About hours, nobody's charging you. You just lit. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for every artist I talk to, like I'm nobody, but I try and tell everybody like, yo, you should invest into some like studio equipment. Like I feel like it's hands down. You have to do it. Like studios are cool, but I rather do my own thing, and you know, just invest in your craft. Believe in yourself. Just focus on that.
Seriously, man. And when I did a little bit of artist stuff when I was younger, and I invested the same thing. I got, like, I'm actually looking right now. I got my microphone shield to the right of me, and it's like it really is key. Like, having your own setup so you can experiment, like you said, on your own. Because I've been in this situation where I've sat with in the room, and you see the same people that record with you just chilling at your crib, and then they go to a studio and they have the wavering voice, and it's a whole different environment, and it's really about the vibes when you're recording. It doesn't matter where you record, but if you record it and you are vibing, the track is going to come out good.
I was definitely luckier than other people. I know people record like 5, 6, 10 people in the room. It was really my dad and then Dante, and
Yeah,
then probably brought someone else maybe or two other people one time or two times. But still, it's something about just creating your artistry yourself and finding your own sound. But yeah.
100%, man. Word. All right. So now let's talk about performances. So back in 2020, you went to the Grinder Starve concert series in New York. So talk about this performance and how much you learned about it.
Yeah, that was my first performance. God, it's funny. It was like in a sketchy ass place in the Bronx, and I was the youngest person there. Everybody's like 18, 19, 20 up. Just I don't know. I was nervous. Definitely nervous. I did. I don't know. I'm still trying to performing is one thing that I definitely want to work on because I'm not really good at it. I've only performed like a handful of times, like 4 or 5 times, and it's always been a good experience for me. But looking back at it, I'm like, yo, I could do better this, I could do better that. But yeah, it was definitely an experience. I enjoyed it. It was cool. Everybody was rocking with me. So for the first
See,
performance,
that's all that
I was out.
matters.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Performance wise, it's really you got to experience it and learn by doing. It's not really you can't. I mean, you can always, of course, watch film of other, just like with basketball players, they'll watch film of other basketball players. But like, hey, when it really comes down to it, you just got to
Uh huh.
do it and keep doing it, and then you'll just get better at it.
Yeah. Eventually, yeah. Mhm.
Word, bro. Okay, so now 2021, you've released one track so far. You got Dead Inside. Let's talk about recording Dead Inside.
Um. Yeah, that's another one. That's another one like voices that I recorded by myself late at night. Just running through music, doing stuff. Um. It was definitely more on the that style, that East Coast New York style I had on 93.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely very like close to that. But yeah, Dennis Side was just cool to record. I definitely had to like get that off my chest too. Like you listen to the song, see what I'm talking about. Um yeah, it's like yo, mad young kids go through that too. Like it's cool to speak about it. Well,
See, music is therapy, right?
that's what they say.
It's for the listeners and for the musicians. Getting that shit off your chest is really big and really important to do.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Oh yeah, man. Okay, so you got your chair right here. So let's talk about streaming. You've been streaming, both making beats, mixing, and then also gaming. So what got you interested in streaming?
And it's kind of almost the same thing with production. I got a computer. I said I want to do everything. Like, I was already by the time I started streaming, I was already making beats and mixing and stuff like that. But like, I really got to trying to do the stream stuff with like gaming. My computer wasn't really able to hold that. Like, I'm trying to push more to music, but like,
Hmm.
I tried the gaming stuff. I never played games like growing up. I say growing up, but I'm still growing up. Um, yeah, I never had like a console, and then I really got the computer. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna try it. I was
Hmm.
trash, horrible. Like if you see those streams, like it's choppy, you can't really see it, but it's me trying, experimenting with different stuff, branching out.
No, exactly, bro. And streaming is, in today's age, it's something really big. And for artists too, your fans are gonna want to see everything and anything that you have that is content. So
Facts.
you coming on a live and just being like, "Hey, I'm streaming tonight," and then being like, "By the way, just and like you just put on a song and one of your new tracks just starts
Uh-huh.
playing, and people in the comments are like, "Wait a minute, is this a new track? I haven't heard this one yet," and it starts going like. It's really key, and
Like yo,
I
people
was
people's
so hyped
favorite
to see.
rappers, people's favorite rappers are like GTA 5 role playing like on Twitch. Like
Seriously, man,
stuff people
like,
never thought they'd see. Like, yo, what is this? It's crazy. Why are my favorite rapper role playing on GTA? Like, yeah.
but hey, that's the world we're coming into. We're in a real digital age in the 2020s.
Facts. Entertainment, content.
Yep, content, 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 and that's what you're doing, bro. I love to see it.
hmm
Okay, so now we're gonna get into the final questions. So the first one that I have that's a make you think question is: if you could collab with any artist and producer, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
You said artist and producer.
Yep, on one track.
Uh, this is a this is a weird. This is super not improbable, but they're both alive. I'd be with Drake on a track and then Kanye producing it. It's impossible. Drake and Kanye that don't go together no more. But if I could,
Bro,
I'd Drake Kanye.
what type of Kanye? Would you want the like soul samples? Like,
Nah. I'm very. I always want to let this out there. I'm very over Juice World, over Nav. I'm very influenced by Kanye, especially by 808s and Heartbreak. That album,
mm,
top down, that's yo, that really paved the way for like the type of emotional melodic stuff we do now. That's like super
mm-hmm.
mainstream, auto tune, all this stuff. Kanye, Kanye made that happen. I want some 808s and heartbreak type stuff. You feel me?
Bro, that's sick. I was talking to one of my boys, and he told me he was like he sticks by it. 808s and Heartbreaks is his favorite Kanye album, and so I literally like I think a month or two ago I was like, okay, plopped in my headphones. I was like, what would and I went in with an open mind, and I was like, what is so good about this? And I listened. I was like, okay, I understand now.
Yeah, like yo, Kanye and his feelings is a different type of beast. Crazy.
Bro, that's why this new album gonna go crazy.
That divorce gotta be kicking him, bro.
Yeah,
Yo,
right.
bro.
All right. So that would see now that would be a fucking sick track. All right. So if you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, TV's on you, everybody's tuned in, what would you say and why?
Damn, damn. That's a hard question. That's a hard question. Go follow Zunel GC on Instagram. I don't know. Damn. What would I say? Because I feel like if you have 30 million people watching you, like all the attention, you gotta say something important. Yeah. Go stream my music. I'm Zunel GC. Perform some shit like that.
See that I've gotten so many different answers. I've gotten ones like you just said where it's like, hey, perfect way to just promote myself. Others have been like real like make you think answers, but like in all honesty, it's what you think you would want. And hey, promoting yourself, you just got yourself 7 billion new fans.
Yeah, exactly. Boom.
All right, man. So the last question I have for you is where do you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, and then 10 years? We'll start with one.
Um, 1 year. 1 year, I see like a lot of more music videos out. Um, I feel like a year from now, I definitely would understand what my sound is for sure.
Hmm.
Still trying to discover that. 5 years. I'm 14 right now. 5 years. I say by 18, I have to have something bubbling, something
Hmm.
coming up. And 10 years, I don't know, bro. I gotta be like Uh, it's like I have a list of top 10s, and then like Drake is number 1. I want to be like 11. I want to be,
Hey,
one of the big ones. You feel me? I'm on top of the world.
make a name for yourself. Hey, 24. That's still young, but hey, 10 years of grinding at such a young age, bro. That could do it.
Yeah, I got a different beast.
Hell yeah, man. All right, so I'll give you the floor. Any more shout outs you want to give before we end today's episode?
Big shout out my manager. Big shout out my dad. Shout out Alex Fad with Records, Little Beats, Mafia, Eggy, Dante, everybody that fucked with me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get it.
Awesome.
Big shit
Thanks,
coming the
man.
rest of this month.
That's what we like to hear, man. All right, so this ends episode 106. See you in 2 weeks, CT.